DeSanto Propane is 4 generations strong as a trustworthy, family-owned business with unmatched customer service. Go online at DeSantoPropane.com for more info or call toll-free at 1-800-752-4574 today. Since 1937, the difference has been DeSanto Propane.
Hey, welcome to FLX Weekly here on Wednesday, June 4th, 2025. I'm Jim Sinicropi, live inside the FingerLakes1.com studios. And today we are going to welcome in Nick Violas. He's the co-founder of Nolan's on Canandaigua Lake, and Lisa DeSantis. She's the director of sales and marketing at Hotel Canandaigua, Tapestry by Hilton. A lot of us, like myself, we've gone to Nolan's to eat for years, and it's great. We're going to learn a little bit about the history of Nolan's, but also now the catering service that they offer in conjunction with the Hotel Canandaigua and other locations. It's a pretty interesting new venture that they're starting out, so we're going to talk all about that in just a second. But first, this episode is brought to you by West & Company Diamonds and Jewelry. West & Company Diamonds and Jewelry is a full-service family-owned jewelry store serving Auburn and the surrounding communities. Check them out online at westandcompany.com or stop in and browse their selections at 10 Genesee Street in downtown Auburn. West & Company, crafting fine jewelry since 1982. And also by Blush by CV Designs. Blush by CV Designs is a local woman-owned business in the heart of the Finger Lakes offering women's clothing and accessories, quality home goods, and unique gifts. See what everyone is talking about by visiting their location in downtown Seneca Falls or browse all their products online at shopcvdesigns.com. And you should check out their Instagram account or TikTok. They post a lot of pretty cool, funny content on there. They're getting pretty prolific at it. So anyways, welcome to the studio, Lisa and Nick. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Nick, we were talking before the show about, I've gone to Nolan's for years. You've had the fire several years ago and all that stuff. But you and your brother Guy co-founded Nolan's. Just give us a little background on how the history of it and how it came about.
Well, I never intended to be a restaurateur. I went to college to be a school teacher, got my master's degree in counselor ed, and I did that for 24 years, and I was a high school football coach for 17. So the restaurant industry wasn't something that I was seeking. It kind of found me. I had a very good friend, and I met in second grade, and he was that guy in high school that always had the parties and organized everybody, and he naturally went into the hospitality business. We went our separate ways after high school because our lifestyles didn't match. We ended up buying houses on the same street 6 years later, and he had a restaurant at the time, and he asked me to help out. I was teaching, didn't have kids. My wife and I were teaching.
And where was this, locally, or was this?
Canandaigua.
Oh, this is in Canandaigua. What was the restaurant you owned?
Sam's on the corner.
Okay.
Sam's on the corner. And my brother and I, at the time, were also doing some real estate, dabbling in real estate, and we were renovating houses and renting them out, and so I considered myself sort of a general contractor.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy wanted to expand his restaurant. He asked me if I'd help him with the general contracting of it with my very limited knowledge. I helped him, which made me get a little bit more involved. I learned about building restaurants, and not that I really wanted to do that, but I was doing it for a friend. And then I got a little more involved with what he was doing. He would have me help host, maybe bartend a little bit. I was helping training some of his staff, but it still was just for food and booze. I wasn't working for him, and I was still doing my teaching and coaching. And restaurants are tough. My buddy took a couple wrong turns, and his business went sideways and ended up foreclosing. And he and his family, decided to get out of the business, and he was getting into landscaping, and my brother and I kept doing our thing. And then I noticed he was he wasn't happy. My buddy wasn't happy. So I said, well, I contacted my brother. I said, why don't we try to expand our portfolio a little bit, and we'll build a small little restaurant or renovate a small building, do a restaurant, summertime thing, maybe just dinner.
Mm-hmm.
It'll help my buddy and his wife get a job, their job's back, and we'll have a little bit on the side, and I'll keep teaching and doing our thing. So we found a building on Lakeshore Drive, Kellogg's Pantry Inn, which was an iconic diner on Lakeshore Drive in Canandaigua. It was for rent at the time. David Janecko owned it. He brought us in. We put a little love into it, maxed out all our credit cards to make it happen because we didn't have any money. And we opened in 2011, and Nolan's began, and the restaurant business found me then. And my brother and I were the owners. We brought our buddy and his wife in to help run it, and it kind of just took off from there.
So you guys are approaching 15 years then.
15 years, yeah.
That's definitely happened since then. You guys seem to hit a pretty sweet spot though in terms of the service, in terms of the consistency of the service, the menu you offer, the feeling at the restaurant.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, restaurants are difficult business, very difficult. What's the key to your success and longevity?
Well, I think it's the approach that we brought to it, the philosophy that I brought into it. We didn't get into it to see how much money we could make. We were into it to see, for me, I was a school teacher, so I had my lifestyle. I wasn't looking to be a millionaire. My goal was to make people happy.
Yep.
And the concept I brought to it is I know that in the line of business I did as a school counselor, there's a sense that people want a sense of belonging. People like to feel like they're part of something. They like to feel family. And most importantly, they like to be respected. So, our approach was we're going to bring integrity to it, and, we're going to bring an honest effort to what we're doing. So we're counting smiles before we're counting our cash register. And I think that resonated with people. I think they really enjoyed when they walked in. They felt, that they were part of what was going on because we were making them feel included. It wasn't just you're coming in for dinner. We were welcoming you into our family, and I think they really I think people like that. And
so kind of doing it out of a place of a desire to just create something special and not having the entire stress of the finances, I guess, because you had your other career.
Right. It was a different kind of pressure we had. It really was very different.
Well, it's been wildly successful, and like I say, when people think of going to dinner in Canandaigua or out in Canandaigua, Nolan's is at the top of the list for sure.
I like hearing that.
So, Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I can remember it's been 3 or 4 years now that we had developers in for the Hotel Canandaigua. It was just a concept at the time, and now here we are, and it's established. And just tell us a little bit about what's kind of going on at the Hotel Canandaigua, right there on the lake, Kershaw Park.
It's beautiful. It's right on the lake. Almost every room has a lake view, and our event space has a lake view. So it's very sought after, very popular. But you're right. They did have a vision, and the building or structure sat empty for years. So the birdcage is no more, as people called it in the past, which kind of had a negative connotation.
Yep.
So, we wanted to embrace our community and make people love us. And so we did a little rebranding. We don't have anything called the birdcage at the property anymore. We have a new outdoor tiki bar and outdoor venue that serves food and beverage called Corsair's Cove. So that's one of the changes we've made, but the property is a Hilton property. It's part of the Tapestry collection, which is super important because the Tapestry collection is one that, if you think about Conrad Hilton, when he traveled, he was seeking out locations and sites for his properties that were authentic and embraced community, embraced culture, and that's what Tapestry is all about.
Okay.
And so that's what our hotel is about. We're embracing our local surroundings, the Finger Lakes. We are the chosen spot in Canandaigua.
Yep.
So, being a Tapestry, we have a little more freedom. We can decorate and just explore the region and bring that into the hotel with our decorating, with our food. And that's one of the reasons why this is a great partnership, because Nolan's has been the namesake restaurant in Canandaigua for years, and what better way to weave a tapestry than bring us together?
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't really understand that, but there's Hiltons everywhere, so I guess the difference in your stock cookie cutter Hilton that you might find on a row with other hotel chains and restaurant chains, but this is different because it's kind of like a landmark in the community.
Correct. So the Tapestry collection, there's a little over 100 of us now, and we are all unique. So Tapestry provides the traveler with the reliance of Hilton, the consistency of Hilton, but the uniqueness of the area and its surroundings, the lake, lake life. And that's what we want to share with our guests, whether it's for someone traveling from out of town. We have people coming in this week from all over the world. We have people from Croatia coming, people from India coming for a conference. We did a fabulous wedding last weekend with the help of Nolan's amazing catering. It was wonderful. It poured rain, but you know what? They had a fabulous time. The food was fantastic.
So
Go ahead.
well, we're going to get into the catering part, which is one of the main reasons we're here. But you mentioned all these people coming from across the world and across the country. Why do they come to Canandaigua?
Well, Canandaigua is in the heart of the Finger Lakes. The Finger Lakes are becoming more and more popular because we are untouched in a way that a lot of larger cities and resort areas are. So we offer them the convenience of being in nature, but also having everything right at your fingertips. So being in walking distance on Lakeshore Drive, our guests can walk to Nolan's if they choose to, walk to a local brewery or a storefront, and enjoy kayaking or anything else along the lake. So it's great for corporate and association groups. If they're holding a conference, it allows their attendees to get out in the air, out of that conference room for a little bit. And I think all of the Finger Lakes is experiencing that. We're seeing more and more business travel coming to our area.
Yeah, I think for those of us that have lived here forever, I mean, we take it for granted a little bit, I think, but it's just like when someone comes up from, whether it's from Boston or New York City or really anywhere, it's like a paradise to them.
It's like a paradise for sure.
So we're lucky in that way. Although you wouldn't know it with the way the weather's been the past few months.
But today's gorgeous.
It is. Today is beautiful. Maybe we finally turned the corner. So the reason we have you here together is so Nolan's is kind of expanding and by getting into catering.
Yeah.
And so you're primarily providing the catering service for events at the hotel.
Yeah, so right now we're only handling, the conferences they bring in and any type of social event, a wedding, a bridal shower, a graduation party, rehearsal dinner, those types of things. So we're doing their catering. We don't do the restaurant. We're not handling the tiki bar.
Right.
Or Corsair's Cove outside. We're just handling the special events that come.
And then in addition to that, you are providing the food service at Canandaigua Country Club, the Fallbrook Inn.
Yeah, Fallbrook House.
Fallbrook House, yeah.
600 feet away on the lake, we also have the Fallbrook House at the Canandaigua Country Club, which is a building we designed and with partnership with the Canandaigua Country Club erected, and it's very exciting. It's a beautiful building. That building is more of a seasonal building. It's more of a lawn party type atmosphere. And then right around the corner, we have the Hilton Tapestry. And what's so exciting for us about that is it gives us more flexibility and diversity. We can go longer into the season. We can go past that October. You have the amenities of the Hilton Hotel, the beautiful rooms and beautiful view right down the lake. And I know Finger Lakes, that's beautiful lakes, and we're near one right now. But us folks from Canandaigua think we have the best.
Yeah, there's a little more
we have a certain
elevation and hills and.
It might be our own doing, but we really do believe that we are the chosen spot. The Native Americans before us coined it that, so we just kept going. And but people do come from all over the world, and they do love Canandaigua Lake. And when they come here, they always are just amazed that this type of thing exists in upstate New York. That from wherever they are, and so. We're fortunate, Nolan's. I've got two venues right next to each other on the northern shores of the lake, and how lucky are we?
Did the proximity help make the decision to do this easier? You can literally cart stuff over, right, from the.
I've got the hotel, the Fallbrook house, my house, all within a mile and a half.
Oh, your house too, huh?
Yeah, so my girlfriend and I just built a house up on right above everything, so we have a beautiful view of the lake. And I got to tell you, for those who are wondering, is the lake just for the summer? The lake has so many different personalities that it's just as beautiful in the winter. It's stunning in the fall, and it just, that day that it rained, there was still beauty of it at some point during the day, and the lake just changes. So it's a really special spot to visit.
Yeah, and then Four Seasons is another thing when we complain about the winters, but really the seasonal changes up here in the Finger Lakes are one of the things that make it special, and to the north end of Canandaigua Lake, especially in the fall, really is world class. Like, you can't get anything like that anywhere else.
I don't think you can. It's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the catering, having Nolan's as a partner, probably makes your life easier when you book these events. You have a well-known brand, and you're going to have quality. And so for staffing perspectives and stuff, it's probably a win-win, right?
Well, yeah, I think it is for all of us because, as we mentioned before, Nolan's has been the namesake and staple in the community for years. And it just seems fitting that they are doing our catering. And when our current accounts or clients hear that, they're thrilled. Oh, how exciting, Nolan's. We've heard of Nolan's. So, everyone's been very happy with that, and we're very happy. The team is melded great. We have a wonderful team on both ends, and that is key right there. Everyone works well together, and we're having a lot of fun.
So, walk us through the process. Let's say a wedding. A client comes and they decide that they want to have a wedding at your venue, and now it comes time to figuring out the particulars of the menu and stuff like that. Like, what are the options available to them? And you guys can, either one of you can take this, and how do you work through that process?
So Lisa is the salesperson for the hotel. We have our own salesperson for catering. They work together, because there's, if a person comes for a wedding, they're going to talk about, well, they're probably going to want to stay there, so they're going to work with Lisa on that. And then for the food and beverage, they're going to talk to my salesperson. She's going to detail that for them. We do served dinners, we do buffets, we have stations that we can put around the room. So there's a lot of flexibility in what we can do. And it's really great having the Hilton, that whole Tapestry. I think the one nice thing about bringing us in and not using their own staff for that is that Tapestry piece of diving into the community, pulling something, and we're that piece they're pulling in. So I think we understand how that whole lake living type thing works. They've got a really great outdoor patio and the fire pit, so our salespeople can really speak to how you use the lake, and what foods, what kind of menu you might want to put together based on what type of feel you're going for. So,
sure. So how when you decide to do this, how do you handle the staffing? Like, how do you handle your employees? How many employees do you have, and how do you choose, like, are some dedicated to just catering, or do you pull from your main crew at Nolan's for these events?
Both. When we expand, I certainly love the vision. I saw how it could work. I projected how the numbers would work. But really, nothing can happen without our staff, and that's really what Nolan's is kind of about. So I didn't tell my staff that we were doing this. I asked them if they wanted to do this. I had a catering team that were kind of growing, and I asked them, is this something you want to take on? Do you think you can handle that? Because it meant more for them on their plate. It also meant more opportunity for them as far as their career and taking it to another level. So I put a lot of that in their hands. We staff it. It's all of our staff. So I got my core people, my core catering group. But of course, we use, we're fortunate to have staff at Nolan's restaurant and the Canandaigua Country Club. So I've got a group of about 150 people that we use. We have a lot of college kids that come through, and they may be at the hotel for one event. They'll be over at the Fallbrook for another event, and then they could be bussing tables at Nolan's. So they could be, having that diversity helps us with staff. Because there's more opportunity for them.
So the Canandaigua Country Club is in Fallbrook. year-round,
Well,
full
that's
time?
that's a private golf course,
Right.
So
But they have a restaurant service
we
for
have
their
we
members.
do the food and beverage there. It's really more seasonal.
Okay.
We are open year round, but it's like one day a week for a fish fry on Friday type thing.
Okay.
It is very seasonal. It's a smaller membership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like a win-win for everyone involved. And so someone comes to you and they're like, geez, I want to have a graduation party. Do you then like say, okay, here are some options for venues. We could do it at the hotel. We could do it at the Fallbrook. We could do it at the restaurant. Like,
Yeah, so that's the beauty of what we have going on with having the 3 different locations. I have Nolan's Restaurant, the Fallbrook House, and the hotel. So we're really able to match what you're looking for. And everybody's looking for something a little different, even though they're all really close together. Someone may want a lawn party. Someone may want a more of the indoor where it's climate controlled. And then someone may want that intimate back room where I have at Nolan's. So it's been working out so far. It's been about, 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks. And it's amazing how somebody may start at one building but choose another, and it goes both ways. And I know that all the locations are worried, like, where's my piece? But it's all happening that wherever the people are coming in, they're coming in with what they want, and then we just fit them what's best for them. And it's really working. It's everyone's able to eat.
yeah, if you think about it, you really have a lot to offer across a wide spectrum of different types of clients and events. It's definitely pretty cool how it's kind of worked. A lot of synergy, I suppose.
Yeah.
So we've been talking for years around here about how, oh man, the tourism is growing in the Finger Lakes, and it certainly has. I mean, I've been in business now, or here at Finger Lakes One, since 1998, and it seems like in the late 90s and early 2000s, people were talking about, the potential of tourism around here. But I think it's really come to fruition in the past, like 10 to 15 years. It's really kind of become more world-renowned, I guess, and the numbers are up. And, of course, there's more wineries and breweries. Everything's growing, it seems. Lisa, from your perspective, what's like next? What's the next 10 years going to look like for the region and for your hotel and for Canandaigua?
I think it's becoming more and more popular, like you said, for numerous reasons. We had the big influx of tourism. Ironically, during COVID, people that wouldn't normally come to the area or hadn't been to the area that thought, I guess we can go to the Finger Lakes, and fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did they continue to travel here, but they want to buy homes here and be here. So that, was a big factor in boosting the tourism, which, again, it's ironic, but it happened. I see it getting bigger and better, but I think the communities are conscious of that and want to protect the beauty and the wildlife and everything around it. So, Nick touched on lake life, and let's face it, that's why they come, and we have to protect that, and we all have ways of doing that, and we're all very environmentally conscious. Whether it's from what we use is our containers and recycling. So we just have to be conscious of the lake life, and it's getting bigger and better. And the wineries can attest to that as well. I'm sure you've been watching the news and seeing where that's going. So we follow the Finger Lakes Wine Alliance, and they're busy.
And wine trails on every lake.
And events.
New places opening, events. Yeah, certainly big events, small events. There's always something going on, especially as we get into this time of year.
We have a few coming up.
Yeah, so one of them is it's a barbecue bash in July, right?
Yeah, so, 4th of July, we always used to have fireworks in Canandaigua. This year, it's going to be on the 5th of July on a Saturday. And a lot of the local business, it was kind of touch and go if we were going to have it. The town governments didn't know if they had enough money for it. They asked if we
Yeah, it was just recently we got the release here at Finger Lakes One that it was going to be on Saturday, July 5th, fireworks.
It'll be July 5th. So there's a few businesses down by the lake. Us, Lake House, Canandaigua Hotel, the Canandaigua Country Club kicked in. Fire on the Lake, who else? Coho. So the business got together, helped the town raise the money to have fireworks. We lost the 4th because we were a little late to the game, so we're going to do it on the 5th of July.
Because the fireworks a vendor was booked?
Vendors are booked,
Okay.
yeah.
That's fine, though. Saturday might be a better.
It works
better,
fine, yeah. So we're all excited about it, and at the Hotel Canandaigua, we're going to do a barbecue bash, and I think we're selling tickets already. I think we're up to, like 50 already, and we just
Is that
posted-
something that'll sell out, you think?
It'll sell out for
Okay.
sure.
Where can people get tickets?
So they can go to Eventbrite, and I think they can find that on our website, yeah. And so they'll be able to be right there at the hotel, and we're gonna fence off an area, bring their chairs, and we'll have the barbecue, and it'll be the Corsair Cove will be open for drinks. It's also it's family friendly, so it's where anyone can come.
Yeah, and
Front row right on the lake.
that is the dream, the Finger Lakes dream. Like we're talking about the tourism, like that type of you got great food, you got hopefully good weather, beautiful venue on the north end of the lake, and then fireworks for the 4th. I mean, that's like
That's Canandaigua.
yeah, that's a hallmark moment.
Yeah.
And then there's other events you guys are planning as well, working together going forward. So keep an eye out for things. I know you talked about maybe an Oktoberfest, and some other ideas you're kicking around. Are those events easier to pull off because of your partnership?
I think so. We just did an open house to show the community the event, and we had like 250 people attend last week, and it was really fun, and really it was easy. It was just we just went through our phones and just invited friends and guests, Nolan's people, and they all came. So I think with our name and the recognition that people have in the community, I think it's gonna be very easy to book some of these community events, and they have just a beautiful space for it. So there's a murder mystery. You want to talk about?
Oh, yeah,
that? I think
murder
that's
mystery.
Kind of fun.
Yeah, so we're planning a murder mystery weekend, and it is from Friday to Sunday. So you start Friday with a cocktail reception, and you see some clues.
And then someone gets murdered at some point?
We'll see.
murdered. So you come in, and there's a staff, not a staff, but a crew of actors that are there, but you don't know who the actors are.
Oh.
Other than the police officer or inspector, whatever theme we go with.
Yeah.
But yeah, we provide the meal service and overnight accommodations, and the activities go throughout the evening. The next morning you find clues. So it's a super fun activity. It's a super fun weekend. And we'll be posting that on our website once we make those tickets available.
And is that coming up
gonna be in
soon?
October.
In October,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, well, it's awesome to see businesses working together like this, and really the beneficiary are the clients and the community. So congratulations on almost 15 years for Nolan's. Congratulations on establishing the hotel in Canandaigua and the new venture you guys are doing together. So somebody watching this, they're like, oh, geez, I'd like to have my wedding or grad party or 50th wedding anniversary party or whatever it might be. How do they start the process?
Well, just go right to our website, and you'll see catering at the website, and it'll give you all the different options. There is an inquiry form you can fill out. It's going to go right to our sales director, Kristen Harder. She'll handle that, and you can also go to the website at the Hilton Tapestry and find it that way as well. So
everything can get you can get to everything from the main Nolan's website.
oh, yeah.
Yep, and there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. And yeah, it sounds easy. I know people that plan these events, they probably get overwhelmed. It sounds like you guys are making it easier,
We're
giving
gonna
them
make it easy
options.
for you. Yeah.
Well, that's
All
awesome.
you got to do is call. We'll take care of it from there.
Well, thanks a lot for coming in, guys. I appreciate it. And congratulations on the new venture. I'm sure it'll be successful. You guys are doing a lot for Canandaigua and the Finger Lakes, so it was great to spend time with you to talk about it.
Thank you.
So yeah, go to Nolan's website, check it out for yourself. Maybe you just want to, if you've never been to Nolan's, just go for dinner. I mean, it's a very relaxed, casual atmosphere and fantastic food, fantastic staff, easy to get to. I live in Seneca Falls, and we probably go to Nolan's 4 times a year, maybe I'd say. It's just very accessible and a beautiful spot. And depending on the time that you're going, if this time of year. You have 7 o'clock reservations. Maybe you go at 5 or 6. There's a lot of places to go, like the Tiki Bar at the hotel, and other places on Lakeshore Drive before dinner. So it really is a fantastic scene if you haven't been up there on the north shore of Canandaigua Lake in a while. So definitely check it out. And enjoy the weather. It's sunny. I know there's a little rain for the weekend, but overall it's looks like we finally turned a corner here. So hopefully you have some great plans. Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed the show, click like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back next Wednesday. Until then, have a great weekend, the first weekend of June here in the Finger Lakes.